Hello and welcome to today's podcast. We're going to touch on some of the overall challenges facing logistics managers operating in fulfillment environments. And then we're going to discuss a few automated packaging trends that are helping managers to streamline operations during these very trying times. Now, my name is Michael Levans, and I'm Group Editorial Director for Peerless Media Supply Chain Group, which of course includes Logistics Management Magazine. And I'm joined today by Sean Webb. And Sean is Director of Sales and Operations at Sparck Technologies. And Sean, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, looking forward to our conversation, Sean. Sean, I don't think I need to remind anyone that's joining us today. I don't think I have to remind anyone that the parcel shipping environment has become pretty complex over the last few years. Now, what was once a cut and dried formula for shipping lighter, smaller boxed items to customers has become obviously more expensive and more complex. At the same time, the big uptick in e-commerce sales and then the fact that more customers are shopping at home, and that's pushed companies to rethink how they manage their fulfillment, packaging, and shipping processes. And with rising volumes and soaring rates, obviously we're all feeling that. Today automated fits its size packaging is becoming top of mind for many logistics professionals. And we're going to touch on automated packaging's growing role inside operations in just a little bit. But first, Sean, just to get us rolling here, just to set the table for our conversation, the last 2 years have been quite a ride for everyone involved in supply chain management. Now, from your unique perspective, how would you define where we are now in terms of the environment inside of warehouse and DC and fulfillment operations these days? Give us your sort of 30,000 foot view of what you're seeing.
Yeah, thanks. What I'm seeing lately and where we've come from, I think you hit on the major points, right? So as we saw kind of COVID set in, you just saw an accelerated, or that was the catalyst
Right.
for the e-commerce business just exploding. That put a significant amount of pressure on fulfillment to get
Mm-hmm.
a significantly larger number of orders out the door. In order to do that, you had to become much more efficient.
Right.
And that also created, from the expectation side of customers, that is now the touch point for a lot of these companies. So their expectations of getting those deliveries in a timely fashion. So something that they may have shipped out in 5 to 7 days is now
Mm-hmm.
expected to be there in 2.
Right.
So lots of different pressures that were kind of new to some of these
Yeah.
fulfillment operations.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Sean, taking that into consideration, let's dive into some of the unique challenges this environment has created inside of our fulfillment centers. What are you seeing as some of those challenges that have popped up here due to that new pressure?
I think one of the things you kind of hinted at is the efficiency of the box size, right?
Yep.
So no longer, from a transportation standpoint, no longer can you just put a small light item into any size box.
Right.
That space just is extremely valuable on those trucks.
Hmm.
So anybody who's shipping something and puts it on the truck, it now is between the weight versus the size
Right.
becomes very expensive
Yeah.
and competitive for that space. In addition to the environmental challenges that are associated with that, right? So
Yeah.
trying to limit the amount of trucks that are on the road. So smaller boxes, you fit more in a truck, and you have a smaller carbon footprint. So
Right. Yep. So when we flip the spotlight a little bit more here on the packaging size, right, we're seeing more emphasis, obviously, as you just mentioned, Sean, being placed on the importance of packaging. So what are some of those packaging pain points shippers are facing right now? You did mention a couple, but what are some that are really bubbled up to the surface?
um, I think one of the major ones is the labor situation.
Yep.
So certainly there's some macroeconomic pressures on there, right? So right now, I think there's significantly more job openings
Hmm.
than there are people to fulfill these roles. So as the volumes are increasing, just finding the people
Hmm.
to fill these different roles in the warehouse has become very challenging.
Right.
And you see a lot of turnover in those roles as well. So it's a constant effort to get enough people and get the right skill set to focus on it and do a good job. So
Hmm.
that is one major pain point.
Yep.
In addition to that, which also complicates it, is now wages are increasing
Yep.
with this in this environment. So companies are, needing to increase that hourly or the salaries that they're providing to
Hmm.
attract different people, which increases that cost structure.
Right.
So finding labor and finding cost-effective labor is a significant challenge.
Right. Right.
Um,
Sean, now let's talk about some of the solutions. Obviously, labor and rising, pay scales for the keep those folks around. Now, what are some of the solutions based trends that are taking shape right now and fulfillment, packaging and environment? There's got to be sort of an automation solution there, right? That's going to help, even that existing employee base, stay focused, stay competitive and stay productive. So what are you seeing as some of the trends that are taking place right now in packaging?
well, I think that the overall trend is you're seeing a lot more focus looking at automation, and that
Right.
can be automation in every part of the warehouse from start to finish. So
Hmm.
I think in the past there's been a large focus on the picking and automating the picking, and some of the different other steps involved in the process.
Right.
And now what you're seeing is that last area, the packing process.
Hmm.
You're seeing a lot more attention being given to this area and people looking for solutions. I think
Yeah.
that that's probably one of the major labor intensive areas.
Yeah.
And so people are focusing on that now.
Right, right. And it's going to streamline operations there, make it easier, even from an ergonomic experience as well. Now, let's put the focus now on where Spark fits in here. Now, where do you see Spark fitting in helping shippers overcome some of these pain points? And can you share, how Spark helps companies tackle some of these challenges?
Yeah, so first of all, we really help educate them on solutions like ours that fit to size packaging and the benefits it can provide. So
Hmm.
it's really great to work with customers,
Hmm.
identifying the value that they get. So the labor savings, the efficiency that you
Yep.
get with that increased productivity. Also allowing them the flexibility of scaling up or scaling down according
Right.
to what their business needs are. That's it's super fun to help them with that, along with the transportation savings. Once you right size the box according to what you're putting in it, and you
Hmm.
have the flexibility of going from, you know, dynamically order by order in creating that right size box, customers are extremely excited about that.
Yeah.
And that translates directly into those transportation savings,
Right.
which in this day and age is extremely valuable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As you mentioned, one of the biggest pain points across the entire supply chain right now, those freight rates, especially on the parcel side. Now, Sean, you mentioned a little bit more about, fit to size automated packaging. Can you share a little bit of how it works? Maybe sort of some of the nitty gritty, some of the fundamentals of how that works.
Yeah, so it's very similar to a packing process that they have now, and the individuals would go through whatever their normal WMS process to verify the orders.
Hmm.
You simply scan them, put them on the belt, and organize them in the fashion that's most efficient.
Hmm.
You hit a button, it'll go through. A light curtain will scan those items. It will then capture the dimensions needed to create the fit to size box.
Yeah.
As it pulls and goes through the machine, it will cut and crease the corrugate, fold it around it.
Hmm.
Then we 100% seal it, whether that's a couple different versions. We have a tape version or a
Yeah.
glue version. We then we weigh it. Now customers can do rate shopping. That allows them to manage their transportation at another level.
Yeah.
And then they simply pass on to us the carrier compliant label, which we apply, and then it's off to sortation. So it's a
Gotcha.
fully integrated solution.
Yeah.
allowing a very efficient process.
Yeah, yeah, that's terrific. Sean, any way you can maybe share a little case study or maybe a theoretical case study of an example of an operation that has put automated packaging to work? What's, look like, act like when it's put to work, maybe some of the benefits?
Well, I think I've touched on a few
Yep.
of those benefits, but certainly we have a customer, Webstront, that we're
Hmm.
working with and expanding that relationship, and it's really allowed them to significantly improve their production levels and
Hmm.
become more efficient with their labor force. So
Hmm.
this success, we started off with just one machine, and we continue to grow that to all of their different locations that they have. And it's really allowed them to efficiently expand their business and improve their
Right,
margins.
right. So again, very scalable, as you mentioned before, to
Very
Sean.
scalable.
Let's maybe, as we have a few more minutes here, Sean. Where do you see sort of what's the future holding here for automated packaging? What do you see coming down the pike, Sean, from your unique position?
Well, I think as people become more aware of this technology, we're
Hmm.
really seeing significant demand and interest in it. So I see this continuing to evolve to meet the needs of the customer, where not only are we creating this fit to size package, but
Hmm.
now you're seeing a lot of emphasis, from the marketing departments in
Yeah.
terms of uh, kind of designs and branding that they do
Hmm.
inside the corrugate, outside the corrugate. We can brand this in the manufacturing process of the corrugate, or even at the end, and we can do dynamic branding on the box.
Yeah.
So we really see this becoming very, dynamic, flexible, and applicable to um, very small interest groups,
Yeah.
as people, think of it as placing an order for somebody's birthday, and you have
Hmm.
a birthday message, or the weather report of where it's being delivered on the
Hmm.
package. So very unique, personalized packaging that's
Right.
available now.
Right. Hey, Sean, for the minute or two we have left to wrap up here, so for the operations manager who's maybe listening today, sort of pique their interest, right? What do they need to do to take that next step to get started? What are some of your maybe, just sort of takeaways there in terms of, getting started here in automated packaging?
Well, I think great place to start. They can work with our team. We can help educate them. We go through a full capabilities presentation, but finding more information on our website,
Hmm.
sparktechnologies.com, is a great place to start. You'll find a lot of information on this technology, some different testimonials that are out there, and some videos of the machine and
Hmm.
actually working in production. So I would really recommend that they reach out to our team,
Hmm.
and through the website they can get to us and start a conversation. We'll
Right.
help educate them.
Absolutely, and get that conversation going step by step. Terrific advice. Well, Sean, we are up against our times. Sean Webb, Director of Sales and Operations at Sparck Technologies. I want to thank you for joining us today. Terrific job. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having me, and I appreciate the conversation.
Absolutely, Sean. Thank you, and have a terrific day.
You too.